We'll move into another issue right now, and this is the saving strategy. What we will do regarding the saving strategy. Saving strategy. Okay. Earning interest on your money methods. What is the meaning of interest? Interest is the money or which I will own if I deposit money in the bank because I prevent myself from the joy of spending this money. So it's considered like opportunity cost. Uh, we have here as example 20 years examples for it. May seem boring, but important to take advantages of it, which is earning interest on your money. Compare these three saving scenarios. 20 years old makes an one-time retirement contribution of $5,000, 8% annual return at 65 grows to 160,000. 39 years old makes one-time retirement contribution of $5,000. Same. 8 annual, like here also. Here is 8 annual. But at the age of 65, it grows to 40,000. Here, because he started early, 20 years, so the amount is 160,000. But here, because he started 39 years old, here the amount is 40,000. 20 years old made annual contribution of 5,000 every year. Okay, like the first one. 8% interest at the age of 65, retirement will be 1.93 million. 8 times what she contributed. So it's like the addition of the contribution 8 times. This we call it actually the retirement. When we think about it, it's earning for the future retirement plan. Also, we have something we call it compound interest. What is the compound interest? When you put the money in the bank and you do not draw it, the money goes with one of two ways. Simple interest, which is calculated annually on the principal of the amount. Compound interest, which is presenting the interest which you will have, but in this time, it's the principal plus the interest. And for that reason, we will go now for a question for many of us. 5,000 a year is impossible. Start with an amount that works of you and your budget. So you cannot put $5,000 in a bank as a deposit every year because this is very hard. Start with an amount that works with you and your budget. Consider a percentage of your income. So I will just start with the amount that I first had my monthly obligations, then whatever surplus, I can put it in this retirement plan because it's about the prolonged future. Consider a percentage of your income. That way, when your income increase, so does your retirement contribution. As example, if you make 25,000 a year, 2% would be $500 a year or $40 a month. And that is, I think it will be nice. It won't be so much. Like you see here now, the year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, the deposit is 480. Fixed. The growth is, this amount, the growth here in this time, the total deposit is 400. But here, when you add the deposit plus the compound interest, it will come to this amount. And that show you the total growth, how much, and the balance at the end. The secret of saving money is the miracle of compound interest and growth. Compound interest, like I told you, you don't touch the money. You just leave it in the bank. So the first year will be for the principal. The interest will be for the principal of the amount of money. Then after this will be for the principal plus the interest. And I did some videos on the simple interest and the compound interest, and I send it to you in the links, and you guys watch it, please, because it shows examples. What are the differences between the simple interest and the compound interest? Also here, this is a chance for me to put a question about what's the difference between what is the difference between simple and compound interest. That will show you the idea what's the difference between simple and compound interest. And I will stop here like around 5 minutes to get your answer, guys. Before we go to watch a video about the difference between the simple and the compound interest, we'll see a video right now about this before we end this lecture. Shall leave you like around 5 minutes to do this question. What are the differences between simple and compound interest? We'll stop here like in around 5 minutes just for to get your answers, please. Thank you. Okay, we're going now to see a video about the difference between the simple and compound interest. We're going now to watch a video that show us the difference between simple and compound interest in a few minutes. Here we go. I'm just very slow down here. I'm sorry about that. So let's prepare. We talk about the simple interest today and the compound interest. Simple interest is like when you put a money, it only calculates for the principal itself, the principal, but it doesn't calculate interest for you for the principal plus the interest. But the compound will give you the principal plus the interest time the rate. So this is the difference. One of them is the principal only, and we'll see in our video, like it's showing us how this works. How this works. Just one sec. I have a very slow down work here. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go, just a little bit by bit. Just a few seconds till it upload. Then it will be fine. Okay, here we go. Simple. Write it. So it's not responding. Simple and compound interest. Simple and compound interest differences. I will take this title. Simple and compound interest. I will take this title, and just watch it now. Got it right away. I think something happened which doesn't allow me to. Okay, guys, no worries, it's okay. It will work. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm trying just to get this point, the difference between simple and compound interest. Okay, I have a technical issue here. This doesn't open with me. I'll just say wait and see what will happen. Anyhow, exit page. I'm sorry about this technical issue, guys. It's very slow down here. I don't know why, but we were talking about the difference between the simple and compound interest. And that was the topic of today's, in our topic, which we talk about. And shall now, just the effect is everywhere here. Yeah. Okay, my dears. Still moving on. Sorry about this. It will give me now the titles which I'm looking for. Actually, it's heavy here. I don't know, it's something in the Wi-Fi, but it's going on its way. Like, I just want to give it some time. Maybe with this because of the first video open today, but we'll give it some time. Thanks for patience. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for being patient. Thank you. And successfully, it's not working. That's fine. At least we know now the difference or the difference between the simple interest and the compound interest. Simple and compound interest. Simple and compound interest. Let us open. Let's open this. I hope you get something. Ready to slow down and working, like it doesn't want to work or what, I don't know. A long time now. Here it is. And here it show me, and I just want to go for a video right now to share with you guys a video about the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Here we go. This is a small video and it will show me the difference between both of them. And I'm sorry for this inconvenience. I hope that this also will work quickly because I have a problem here. I think Wi-Fi is fine, but the signal is very slow down. And I don't have any reason for that. So pardon me, please, for what's going on. And here we'll see now a video about the difference between simple interest and compound interest.
Today we will be discussing compound interest. Compound interest is interest that is paid not only on the initial principal of a loan or deposit, but also on the accumulated interest from previous periods of the loan or deposit. Basically, compound interest can be thought of as interest on interest. In order to properly understand how compound interest works, we must first understand what simple interest is. Simple interest is interest that is paid only on the initial principal of a loan or deposit, and not on any interest that is earned during the term of the loan or deposit. Basically, simple interest is interest on principal and nothing else. In order to differentiate between simple and compound interest, consider the example of Daniel and Claire. Daniel and Claire each deposit $10,000 in high interest savings accounts. However, the bank that Daniel has deposited his money at offers only simple interest, while the bank that Claire has deposited her money at offers compound interest. After the first year, both Daniel and Claire made $500 or 5% on their initial deposit. However, for all subsequent years, their return on investment or ROI will be different. Because Daniel's bank only offers simple interest, he will continue to make $500 or 5% of his principal investment of $10,000 each year. On the other hand, because Claire's bank offers compound interest, she will make 5% on not only her principal investment of $10,000, but also on her accumulated interest from previous periods. So in year 2, Claire will earn 5% on both her principal as well as on the interest that she earned in year 1, rather than 5% on only her principal deposit of $10,000. With this in mind, Claire will earn $525 in year 2, bringing her total capital to $11,025. Meanwhile, Daniel will earn only $500 in year 2, bringing his total capital to $11,000. So, after year 2, Claire has made $25 more than Daniel, all without lifting a finger. In year 3, Daniel will once again make $500 or 5% of his principal investment of $10,000 with simple interest, bringing his total capital to $11,500. Claire, on the other hand, will make 5% of $11,025 in year 3, for an annual return of $551.25. Bringing her total capital to $11,576.25. So, after only 2 years, Claire has made $76.25 more than Daniel, all due to compound interest. While this may seem like an inconsequential amount of money, it is important to remember that the effects of compound interest increase over time. As we can see from this example, Claire's annual return on investment increased by $26.25, all the way from $525 to $551.25, just from year 2 to year 3. And the effects of compound interest are even more profound when we compare Daniel and Claire's return on investment over a 10-year horizon, with Claire's annual return climbing from $500 all the way to approximately $775. In summary, simple interest is interest that is paid only on the initial principal of a loan or deposit. On the other hand, compound interest is interest that is paid on both the principal of a loan or deposit, as well as on the interest that is accumulated from the loan or deposit. While in the short term, the difference in returns between simple and compound rates of interest is negligible, over the longer term, compound interest offers markedly better returns. Thanks for watching. And as always, if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to give us.
You have the link of this video, and it's like I told you here, the simple interest, like I showed you in the video here, is always, when we come to simple interest, only on the principal. For that reason, on the long run, the simple interest is less than the compound interest. So if someone like here, he deposits $500 a year, Daniel, 500. So here, if he is on 5% simple interest, and she's here on compound interest, after many years, the one who's in simple will be less than the one who is on a compound interest, because simply the interest is calculated in the simple interest based on only the principal. Like here, you can see here now, this is one of them. Here's the 500 and 775 for the person who deposited in, like here, 10 years with compound interest is more than the simple interest. Simple interest is only calculated in the principal. For that reason, you will find it always steady. It doesn't move up. But the compound interest is moving up, like the way you see here, is increasing. Why? Because in the simple interest, I calculate the interest only based on the principal of the money. But here, the principal plus the interest. So the first year, I calculate here for the principal. Second year, I will consider the principal plus the interest, which is still in the bank. I didn't touch it. I consider this become like the principal. So of course, 500 when it's multiplied by the 10%, not like 5200 when it's multiplied by 10%. The more the money here, you will calculate the interest on this amount of money in the compound. But here you will calculate the interest based on the main deposit only. These are the differences between, like we said, between the compound and simple interest. And actually, we had it as a question also in our point of work. While we were working in this part, we had a difference between what is the difference between simple and compound interest. Which one is better? Of course, the compound interest is better. Why? Because it gives more money on the long run. What is the reason? Because the compound interest put every penny as original, as the principal on the second year when we start to calculate the interest. But the simple, no, it's always the same. It is based, the interest is based on the principals only, on the principal amount of money. The principal amount of money is the first day I put the deposits, is that amount. We call it principal. This is the amount of money which we put on the start day of the business, when we went and deposited in the bank. This we call it principal. So the simple is calculated, the interest is calculated based on the principal only, but the compound is based on the principal plus the interest. Shall see you in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Have a good day.